What's up, Shmuel? It's the Shmuel with Mr. Paul. Hey, Paul, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Oh, I can't complain.
Nice.
Well, we're just gonna do some talking today, if that's cool with you.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, guys, Paul. I just met him out of nowhere. I was talking with my son one day in the store. We were putting away some inventory, and this young man just came in the store and had some items that I was very interested in. But there was more to him than just the items. It's something about his aura. I said, this young man here is more than meets the eye. You know, what I mean by that is, not every day do you find someone walk in your store that's educated for one. You got a degree?
Yeah, I do have a degree.
What kind of degree do you hold, sir?
I have a master degree of financial management.
Really?
Yeah.
How interesting is that? Financial management degree in Wilson Mills. Anyway, so what brings you here?
What?
What brings you here?
I mean, I'm here trying to practice my English with you
Okay.
and maybe let people know more about like China and the United States, the relationships, you know.
Really, that's very nice, man. Hey, so we have a couple questions I'd like to ask you. What do you think about the tariffs that's going on?
Well, I mean, the tariffs Trump are doing right now is actually pretty crazy. Like, he put 140 something percent of the tariffs on Chinese goods. So basically, all the tariffs are like gonna transfer to the customer, because the importer, when they when they trying to purchase stuff from China, they pay the tariffs in the United States and then they transfer the cost to the customer. So like basically all the categories that Trump been putting tariffs on will become more expensive in the near future.
For the people here.
Yeah, for the people here. It's actually the customer are paying for the tariffs, not the importer.
So I guess the president of China, what's the president of China's name?
Xi Jinping.
Xi Jinping?
Yeah.
Xi Jinping and Donald Trump, it seems like business-wise they have a pretty decent relationship, in my opinion. I mean, what I'm trying to understand, for me, I'm like, I think, from my point of view, Donald Trump is he wants to go down as the best president in the United States, better than George Washington. He wants to just do things that no other president's done. That's what I see him trying to do.
I mean, I think right now Donald Trump is actually trying to make American become a manufacturing country again. He wants to bring all the product line back to the United States, but I don't think that's really possible because the labor costs in the United States are like extremely high right now. There's no way that the big companies like Apple are able to bring their product line back into the U.S.
Because of the labor.
Yeah.
Well, what about, I don't know what the technology is like in China. I don't know if I think it's more technically advanced than the United States. Would you say?
I mean, in China, we actually basically we can manufacturing all the stuff that we using in daily lives, like refrigerator and TV and all of that, or even the table and the sofa. Yeah.
So in the grocery stores in China, do they still have the manual checkout system with the lady or the man checking you out, scanning each item? Doot, doot.
Yes, we do, but we also have this kind of store that nobody's in there. Like people just can grab what they want, and they just left the store, and the system will automatically checking out for them.
Really?
Yeah.
So you can walk in the store, grab your merchandise, and just leave and get billed?
Yeah. So basically, do you know Alipay? It's a Chinese app that you can you can pay with, just like Zelle. You can Zelle people money, right? So in China, if you have Alipay, uh, the camera can identify your identity, and and like deducting the money you spend in the store.
That's interesting. Has it been like that? So you've been here about 6 years, right?
Yeah.
Was it like that before you came to the U.S.?
No, not really. This kind of store actually merged in recent years.
Really? Recent years.
Yeah.
So, in terms of that store, they don't really need anyone inside to, like stocker. Well, maybe I guess they'd have stockers to stock the shelves.
Stalker?
People to put stuff on the shelves.
Yeah.
Merchandise.
I mean, we still need people to restock the shelves, you know, but just it just makes customers' life more easier.
I guess what I'm trying I'm wondering if there's a lot of animation in China, it sounds like it's going that way. But do y'all have any like robots?
Robots?
Yeah.
Well, I think right now we have some cities that they're using the drone, yeah, and we also have like a little robot that are normally you can see it in a hotel that deliver the food to the customer.
I see. I think what I'm trying. Listen.
I mean, can we do this again?
Yeah, man. No problem. Listen. We're great. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking to myself.
Uh-huh.
We have a interesting group of people over there in Washington. When I say interesting, everyone has an ego and an agenda over there presently. More so than I'm 50 some years old. We have a group of people in the White House that are most so agenda driven than I've ever seen. This is a very transparent group of people in the White House. Well, when you say the labor, I agree 100%. If you bring all these industries back to United States with the same program and the same people that made them leave, the labor rates, something don't add up. What I see different is the people in the White House. It's not the same people. You have people that are not so much concerned about the American labor force. They're interested in money. Do you have any spiritual connections? What's going on?
What do you mean spiritual connection with
I'm
what?
just wondering. You're 20 is, you're 25 years old?
Yeah, I'm talking about.
Well, a lot of this town you're in,
Uh-huh.
this state is what they call the Bible Belt. Have you ever heard of that?
I don't know much about the like ritual and stuff.
That's good. Okay. Well, in this area, like they don't sell alcohol around here.
Because Bible forbidden that.
To some people, it just depends on how small the town is. You know, when a town, the larger it gets, the more people come from different areas, and it starts to dilute the original population, and it gets more open, more liberal, I'd say.
Yeah, I see.
You know, but in this area here is really strong with the Bible Belt. So, a lot of people in America, they believe Donald Trump is in the office with divine religious reasons. You ever heard of that? Is that something that y'all talk about in China? Your family?
I mean, I'm a atheist, you know.
Oh, mercy.
Yeah, like I don't really believe in any religions. So Like in my family, like we only believe ourselves. Like if I hardworking enough, I can eventually get what I want. Yeah, so I don't think I don't really know much about the religious.
Well, that's okay.
shit.
Okay. So, having said that, to get what you want, you have to have credentials. That's why you went to college. I would assume to get credentials, so you have value.
Yeah.
You know, because you're not going to get what you want unless you have value.
Yes.
So you went and got some value with your college education.
Well, in China, parents usually want their kid to be more educated because, I mean, in that way, they think their kids can eventually become successful, and or let's say being able to like feed themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So, do you think where's it? Is the Tesla Bot program up there still? Optimus. Let me see it. Let it play a little bit. Optimus is a program that Elon Musk is working on. At the end of 2025, he plans on releasing 100,000 Optimus robots to the general population. Did you know that?
I actually do know about this.
You do. Okay.
Yeah. We have similar stuff.
Going on right now. So I can only imagine what his team of engineers have put into this Optimus program, because it's the same technology.
I mean, if you want this kind of robots to do the labor stuff, at the beginning you have to like purchase a bunch of this kind of robot.
Right.
That's a big load of money.
Right.
So this is like the initial cost.
Okay.
And after that, you need to do the maintenance. Like maybe you need to do maintenance for a robot, let's say once a year. That's another cost. So maybe the other costs combined could equal to the like labor costs in the U.S.
That's an interesting spin on it. And the only reason I even mentioned the biblical aspect of this, I'm glad I brought it up, was because, you know, the Bible Belt and the Bible, the Holy Scriptures, some who are not religious, who are atheists, they still read it as. You ever heard of a book called The Art of War by Sun Tzu?
No.
Well, The Art of War is like a series of.
Oh, Art of War.
Yes, sir. The Art of War.
It's a Chinese book, right?
Yes, by
Yeah,
Sun
yeah.
Tzu was a general.
Yeah, you're right.
Have you ever read it?
I read a few topics.
But you get the gist of it. Most people who take military positions use that as a reference.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the Holy Bible for people who live in the Bible Belt. They use the scriptures to forecast what's to come, and so far it's been very accurate. You know, it even speaks about where we're at with the economy in terms of, you know, it's going to be an economy where, in my opinion, I think we're going to an economy where you're not going to have a lot of labor to worry about.
I mean, how are they gonna live if they don't have a job?
Well, because they'll get a.
Universal income?
Yes.
Well,
There's a few experiments going on about that at some places. Have you studied any of those? Have you, Ethan? Have you heard about the universal incomes?
I've heard about it, but I haven't seen anywhere it's been applied yet.
I haven't seen anywhere where it's been applied yet either. But I'm telling you, the people that we have in the White House right now, that's, if you study the makeup of these individuals, that's their long agenda. President Trump, these tariffs that he's doing, it's been in his mind for over 35 years. He's been making this in his mind to do what he's doing.
I mean, I just don't think that's a feasible solution, you know. Humanity is really complicated.
Right.
Like if everyone got the universal salary or
Yeah.
income, then some people might want more, and and they will do something else to earn more income.
Right.
And after like let's say after 10 years, the world is gonna like become just like now.
They're not going to. They're not going to adhere to the universal program.
Yeah,
You're
it's
gonna
just
jump ship?
It's not possible.
It's not a feasible thing.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what. I notice the people in this country here. A lot of them will sign up for it. It may not work for long term, but I believe there's a lot of people, sheeple, people that are willing to just obey.
I mean, if you got a universal income, are you gonna satisfy with it?
I'm not. I don't want it.
You don't want it?
No. I'm off. I moved off grid. I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm going to have. If that happens to be the case, and you have to surrender everything you have, I'm going to be the resistance. You're going to have to come take mine.
Yeah, exactly. There's people they just don't like this universal income stuff.
Right. So have you heard this conversation before? Is it something that some people talk about though? And from where you're from?
I mean, in the history in China, there's actually people trying to like achieve what you said. Like they're trying to plant the corpse, and how should I describe this? Yeah, they try to work together and then they just share what they get from the land, you know. And some people start to being lazy, and even if some people are lazy, they can still get their share of the, let's say, food. Then the whole system just crashed. You know?
That's interesting.
Yeah, like some people are hardworking and they get the same amount as those ones who are not working hard.
Right.
So when there's equality, this system just crashed.
I can see that happening, especially if there's another system to go to. The only time I can see anything like that working is if it's like a lifeboat type situation where your life depends on it. In my opinion, I think if it's a matter of life or death, I don't think those lazy people will be as lazy as they will be if they can elect to just leave. You know what I mean? I guess the apocalypse, when the zombies are at your door, you know? But anyway, well, what do you think about, how about a
Social rating?
in my mind, this is a preconceived, ignorant thought of a lot of people in America. When they think about China, they think about, and this is just me talking to you, they think about a person walking around with a number over their head some way that says this guy scored, let's say out of 100, your score is a 12, and everyone immediately sees you and says, this guy here is a loser because of his score. Is that crazy?
Yeah, this is pretty ridiculous.
It's outrageous of me to even think about
Yeah.
that. Why would I think that?
I think could be the propagandas from the government.
The media,
Yeah.
propaganda. You just debunked it. Really? So that's not a thing.
I mean, basically, we have the same thing as you guys, like the credit report, credit score. So the JP Morgan and Chase, they're using Experian as their credit rating agency. And in China, we have, I think it's a central bank. They have a system that can record each person's lending history. Also informations like have they ever failed to pay the, like if someone ever having a default situation, yeah, things like that. We
Okay.
just basically have the same thing as the US.
Yeah, go on. Well, that debunks that. That's good.
Yeah, on TikTok I heard someone said in China like they even record your Uber rating in the credit report. That's really ridiculous.
Okay, that's good to know. Propaganda. I tell you, I've traveled a little bit, not a lot, but what little I did travel, I was like, man, you know, I heard a lot of people talk about places like North Korea being isolated, and the citizens not know what really is what's happening in the world. But as I traveled a little bit, I realized how little we knew in America about what's really going on. You know, the media really has a lot of influence on a lot of us here. Is it like that in China too?
Yeah, the media actually affect people's life a lot. With the media, just like, do you use TikTok?
I think my son does. I don't. I get TikTok that flashes across my phone from time to time, but I don't use it.
Yeah, I mean, in China, we have our own version of TikTok. It's called Douyin. So, like, in that platform, people can basically share what they want to share, and maybe everyone in the country can see what they posted. So, there's pros and cons about social media platforms. So, I think the pro is you get to see more other than the city you are living. But the cons is you might see something that disturbing you.
It's not censored very much.
I mean, you cannot really post any pornographies on TikTok, right? Other than that, there's no other censorship.
Are people making money with these social medias? And
Yeah, there's a lot of influencers on Douyin or TikTok.
okay. Hey, I didn't even think to ask you, Paul. Are you from the city or the country?
I'm from a city.
Okay? You're from the city.
Yeah, it's called Inner Mongolia, province.
Really?
Mongolia.
In Mongolia?
Yeah, and there's a country called Mongolia, just next to Inner Mongolia.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not the same Mongolia where, who am I thinking about? There's a conqueror. Genghis Khan, that's not Genghis Khan's territory, is it?
It is.
No way.
Yeah, it is.
Wait a second here. No way. What?
Genghis Khan almost conquered the Europe.
Right, he almost conquered the world.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, when he conquered a place, he would set up governments. He didn't just conquer and leave. He would conquer it, set up his own government so he could go ahead and keep going. And his conquered city stayed. Is that correct?
I think he did the opposite. When he conquered a city, he just left, and then they took the city back.
That's why he didn't take over the damn world.
Yeah.
He had he had somebody laying that damn government, he'd have took it. Because
Yeah.
that's just how fierce he was.
I mean, I think he just really likes to war.
Right?
You know?
He's just like the Mongol.
Yeah.
Damn, Genghis. That's funny to me. My goodness. Hey, so, okay. So, when you came to the U.S., it was for college?
Yeah, it's for college.
And you went to the university?
First, I went to the SUNY Buffalo, State University of New York, Buffalo. It's in New York State.
Okay.
There's a city called Buffalo just next to Toronto.
Okay. We had a few people, my son, both of my boys went to a bunch of colleges, and we met a lot of exchange students and things like that. We liked, our home has always been the home where all the kids come to, and it's just how it's always been. So I got to know a lot of folks from different countries. I've always admired young men such as yourselves that would travel so far away from home. I mean, you're not talking about around the corner.
Yeah.
Was it the university? That's the reason you came?
Yeah, the university is why I came here. Because my parents think that the U.S. has more advanced teaching system.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Wow. But we're talking about 1 and 2. I mean, China is arguably number 1 in terms of, what is it, economics? Is that?
I mean, China is still a developing country,
Yep.
but the U.S. is developing.
Okay. So China's just turned on the heat the past 30 years in terms of development.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. So it's a lot of competition in China for the simplest things.
Yeah, and since we have a lot of population in China, the competition is actually really intense. That only the greatest student can go to the, let's say, top 10 universities in China.
Wait a minute. I see what you're saying. So you like a superhero here.
What you mean I'm superhero?
I'm just saying, I mean, if you come from a place where it's competition, not just family, friends, but the whole country is competition, right?
Yeah.
That's where you're from.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
So you come to the U.S.,
I'm trying to dodge the competition.
right? Hey, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn smart. So you like it. That's what I'm saying. You like a superhero. I mean, you got an advantage, man. You really do. I mean, you really do. That's wonderful. This is a great conversation. I feel really motivated. I feel highly encouraged, man. I really do. And Paul, the name. When I heard your name, which one? This one? When I heard your name, Paul, I said, Paul, that's great. Was that your given name?
You mean Paul? I mean, this name is actually from my elementary school English teacher, and I just goes by Paul ever since.
Really?
Yeah. And I think last time you said it's a white name, right?
No, I didn't say
You
that,
didn't say
man.
that?
No, what does
Oh,
that
maybe
even mean?
someone else told me.
No, I didn't say that. A white name?
Yeah.
What's a white name?
I don't know. I think there's one of the store owner told me that's a white name.
But okay, what's your birth? I mean, you don't have to tell me if you don't want to. You want what? So what's your name?
My name is Xinyu Wang.
Xin Yu Wang.
Yeah. You actually pronounced it pretty well.
Thank you. I like it. Sinyu
Wang.
Wan.
Yeah. Wang is my last name. Like family name.
Right. Wong. So, okay. When I was helping the fellow I met, Mr. Ren, a lot of his associates were named Tony.
Tony?
And it was funny because I got to know these fellas real good, and they were like, to New York.
To New York.
Yeah. When it's time to go get things.
Oh, like short for to New York.
Yeah, so they call themselves Tony.
I see.
And Paul, when I said Paul, when I think of the name Paul,
Uh-huh.
Paul is like, Paul is a name that is comforting,
Comfort?
easy. It's a good name. Relax. You're not who you, there's more to you than one sees, but you can relax around Paul. But Paul is more than what you see.
I mean, how come names can give you impressions?
Okay, good. That's good. That's where we get. See, you're atheist.
Uh-huh.
See that the Bible Belt and those names. Well, and I don't think the atheism really counts because the Bible is a book. Have you read it?
Not really.
Okay, well, it's a book. It's a GPS. It's a book like an almanac. You ever heard of an almanac? I'm not going to degrade it and say it's a book like that. I'm not going to do that. It's the living word of what we believe life energy comes from. So some of the characters in this book have names, and one of them was Paul.
Uh-huh.
And Paul was a unique character because he was an atheist as well. He did not believe in all the biblical events that everyone else believed in. So Paul was against it. He was for the government. But in the scriptures, Paul had an experience, a life-changing experience, where he was struck with like lightning almost, and he went blind. And while he was blind, he was taken on a journey. And that journey opened his eyes to a deeper meaning of life besides just himself. And when he came back and he was, when his vision returned, he was like, this really did happen. And he changed. And he just started believing the principles in the scriptures. You know, like when you read a textbook and it clicks in your head, the formulas, when it just clicks. That's how it was for Paul.
Wow.
Yeah. So when you came in and you said your name was Paul, I said, I can tell you one thing. As soon as you left, I told my son, I said, I tell you what, son, there's more to that young man than meets the eye. And that's why I wanted to have you in here today, just so we could talk about it and get to know a little bit more about who Paul is. Because it's good to talk to different people from different places, especially young men, because that's who's going to be running things, you know. So that was my when I met you, I said, man, I'm a conspiracy theorist to the point that some of the relationships my boys was in, I thought they were like plants. You know what I mean? A plant is like an insurgent.
Insurgent? What does that mean?
What's an insurgent? It's like I don't know. You know, when you go for propaganda, not saying that that's what I'm into, but you think people are put in your path to either help you or derail you.
I see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially with women, man. I tell you, women, I don't know how you made it, man. How you were here so long by yourself and dodged all these women.
I mean, I do have a lot of Chinese friends in the United States.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. From China?
Yeah, they're also from China. There's almost like I think 400,000 Chinese international students in the United States right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you opening up my shallow eyes. So you that's like your group? You stick with folks from China? That's pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, normally we we don't actually make any friend with Americans in the college because I think it's really hard to like integrate them since we are actually quite different.
That's what I'm trying to talk. I don't find no differences yet.
Yeah,
I'm trying to. That's why I want a podcast with you. That's what I've heard. But I've grew up with. Listen, I'm diversified. I know a lot of people. I know a lot of folks from China, and there's not very many differences that I've seen. I'm looking for them. I don't see what they are. I can understand what you're saying in college. To complete college, you were with a group of people who were there on a mission.
yeah.
A lot of Americans may be not on that same, they may not have that same drive. Can easily detour you from the mission. Is that
I
what?
mean, college is not the mission for me. I think I just went to college to get more experience, you know, like to enrich my life experience.
Did you fail any of the semesters?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you fail any semesters?
Fail any semesters?
Incomplete the grades. Were you short on passing grade?
I think I failed one course in bachelor degree.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not your first semester?
I don't remember if it's the first semester. I think it's not. I think it's the sophomore year. I failed one class.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because most of the time when folks come from a different country, they come about their business. They come seriously about studying their books, and the party life is secondary. Is that the case?
Yeah, I mean, some people they just come to study here. They actually working pretty hard every day. Maybe they spend 8 hours to study every day. But I mean, I'm not really that hardworking. I just finish all my coursework and the assignment, and then I just go work out or something.
I tell you what, my son's, he's right there. His college experience, he was like one of the only ones. Talk about your experience, son. Oh, I didn't know. Well, you don't have a mic over there? We'll have to edit this part out. Well, daggone, we need to get you a mic. Can we get you one that like a?
I mean, I could sit beside you.
Come on. Come on over here. This is gonna be a good part right here.
I think we can redo the first part.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty messed up.
Yeah, but we're getting better. Now's the time to fix it. I appreciate
Okay,
it.
no problem.
I like that. I like that.
Appreciate the honesty.
I like it. I like the honesty too. We do want it to be.
Be able to fit in here. Maybe.
Maybe. Are you in here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, kind of, sort of. Might get slide more over to Paul.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. In there now.
All right. Let's talk about it. So we're talking about Paul's college experience, Ethan.
Okay.
What about your intermingling with the folks at school?
Well, for me, my first year, when I was a freshman, I went to ECU, and I wasn't necessarily ready for all the independence that you get in college. I wasn't expecting to have as much free time as I had, and before I went to college, I was in a college preparatory high school, so I was already studying college courses. I had I think 10 classes, and then at the end of the year I had 30 final exams, like 3 per class. So when I went to college, I kind of was like wanting to just play basketball and not really. I was about tired of school before I even started college. So when I went in, I was really hanging out with some of my old friends that we all went to school together. So I would do all my tests and all my big exams, and I would do great on them, but I didn't do any homework because I didn't feel like when I left the classroom, that was it. I was just doing whatever I wanted to do. So that's what I did my first semester. And I thought because I did so good in high school, because I had like all A's in high school for every class, I thought when I went to college it'd just be easy. I would just do the word, easily pass, not worry about it. But it's it's a bit different. Like you have to manage your time a lot better. That's what I learned. So I didn't do good my first semester. I did bad. But then after that, I kind of my first semester, yeah, I didn't do really good. But I did
Yeah,
good on all the
since-
tests though.
I think we have basically the same experience
Yeah.
for the college. I didn't do quite. I mean, I didn't really get familiar with the college life that quick.
Mm.
I spent a lot of time to trying to figure out the school systems, like how do I submit the homework, because in China and in high school in China,
Mm.
we don't actually use computer that much.
Okay.
We basically just do the homeworks on the paper.
I see. So you use the technology of it.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense though, but it
Yeah.
sounds like it's more of a personal experience in high school versus the independence of college. Whereas if you don't figure it out, it's going on without you.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're doing bad or anything in college, you kind of got to go out of your way to get help. High school was kind of more like a program where everyone was in the same class together all the time. You always saw the same people, so it was pretty easy to ask somebody for help, or you knew, it was more personal in high school, I think, than in college. College, there was like 100. It could be 100 people in one of your classes. You're not really gonna get to know anybody. And it was interesting because when I went to I went to 4 different schools, believe it or not. Like when I didn't do good at ECU, I went to a different school. I just left. I went to Campbell, and then I did sports there, and then I ended up at Winthrop. And when I was at Winthrop, that was when I was able to meet a lot of international people. So my roommates, they were all from Virginia, but next door to me, I was talking to people from Saudi Arabia, France, Germany, and a couple other countries. I don't remember the other ones, but they were all internationals, and that's who I spent like 90% of my time in college with people from different countries. But it's still the same thing. Like you don't really meet anyone unless you kind of like. If I were to take, I don't even know how you could do it. You would not really meet many Asian people, period, in college, unless you went directly out of your way to go meet someone. It's like they had their own group, and that's just what it was. And a lot of people were curious about, they'd be talking about, like, the heck, like they got to be cool. What the heck, they're all here. But because we didn't speak the language, I think made a lot of people nervous just to go and just say what's up. You know what I mean? It was like that the language barrier and the culture barrier kind of just made you just not really want to. But that's why I said thing about basketball before, because when I played basketball, I did meet a good amount of Asian people while they were playing ball, but you don't really talk to them. But basketball was like a thing. We were all kind of connected.
Yeah, I mean, most of us are actually facing language barriers. It makes us really hard to make any United States friends.
That's an interesting thing. It's like it's meant to be like that intentionally. That's not by chance that we have the communication barrier. I mean, as far the way technology is, that could have been something addressed a long time ago. That's where I go back to my roots of the Bible. There's a town called Babel. You ever heard of that? Well, in this town, everyone spoke the same language, and everyone was driven, and they started building. They were just building things. They were so driven, and they communicated so well that they were building a tower. And the tower started expanding so high, and it was so vast that God said, "Hey, wait a second. Wait a second. They are just as advanced as we are. We got to do something to slow them down before they come up here with us." So the language was confused, and they could no longer work together. Bricks was falling on each other's heads. It was dropping hammers. It was like, what the heck? The simplest task became so complicated. that the people that understood one another walked off one direction and the other walked off in another direction. Isn't that crazy? Because talking to you, I mean, I tell you, I think you and my son would have got along great in school. My son was very serious. Both of my boys had a tough time at school because how serious they were with their sports, and the other teammates they didn't want to. They wanted to play around.
Yeah, like we grew up wanting to be like the absolute best in any sport we did, like it's almost like an addiction degree. So when we went to schools that the coaches or the other teammates didn't feel the same way, it was kind of almost like insulting. I mean, that's just how I looked at it. It was like, so it was kind of hard to fit in, and I didn't party or like drink or smoke or anything. So if everyone else was going out to party, I'm not really going to go. It was only when I went to Winthrop, that was like the third school I went to. That's when I started to actually. I was like, I would at least try to make some friends. So I started drinking with the international guys. So that's when I started to get to know people more. Because drinking is a whole different type of thing for international people than Americans. They are a little bit more responsible about it. Like, they have good quality drinks, you know what I mean? It's not just like the cheapest beer, and it's like they're not, at least in my experience, we weren't all drinking just to get like
Shit-faced.
Yeah, we were just drinking, like listening to music, like talking with girls, but it wasn't like it was like actually talking to them. It was different. It was different than hanging out with the American friends. Just a different type of party. Yeah, but it was still fun. It was different.
What's funny though is you guys went through an interesting time. I mean, conversation is important because you guys are pioneers. You guys went through something that, well, I don't know if we're going to see another one, but in my lifetime, I never experienced a pandemic like that. I never experienced the whole world shutting down the way it did, and to witness this, being from the Bible Belt. And the scriptures telling you these things were going to happen, it frightened me. It frightened me to the point that I was worried about my boys in school because of them being forced to take shots and stuff like that were not. Did you guys have to take a shot?
Yes, we did.
Did you have a problem with it, or it's just a matter of fact for you?
I mean, why do you worry about the vaccines?
No. Hey, good point. Some people do. Some people do worry because the vaccines are based off of money. There's no science behind it. There's no healing in these vaccines. This is all lies. And once you see through the lies, it's like, why are you trying to make me take this MMR vaccine? What's the real reason? I mean, once you lift the veil, I mean, for me, it's all a veil, and I'm like, why are they doing this? That's why I kind of wanted you to come in here and talk to us today. Maybe we could have a breakthrough from different perspectives.
Oh, I didn't take the vaccine, period. And it was, to me, I saw Bill Gates was one of the manufacturers, and that was just a red flag for me, just because he's in the computers more so than he is in the medical field. And a lot of the times, like with the polio vaccine or like the flu vaccine, it's been proven to at least not kill everybody when they do it for like 100 years plus at this point. So for me, I was like, okay, because I used to get the flu vaccine, and it's been done multiple times. So I don't get any more now that I'm older and I have different methods to keep myself healthy. So I don't get the vaccines, any vaccines. But the COVID one, I was not going to get because it was so new. Like, it wasn't tested. And I wasn't in school at the time, so I wasn't actually forced to take it. Only one who forced me to take it was my girlfriend at the time. She was really trying to make me take it. And I just was like, not going to do it, especially because she kept asking me to do it, so I really wasn't going to do it then. So I just was not going to get the vaccine, period. And I never got, well, I will say this, my first week back from school in 2020, like in February, March, April, they sent us all home early because they were afraid of me contracting more. So I got sick that first week when I got out of college. I was sick for 2 weeks. I might have had COVID, like one of the very first people to have it, because I was sick for 2 weeks in my camper, and I couldn't remember that when I was sick. I mean, I was super sick.
Really sick.
But after that, I have not gotten sick with anything COVID in like 5 years. So I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know. The human body has its own protection methods. I think.
Did you get COVID? Did you ever get it?
I actually took the vaccine here, like the Pfizer and the Moderna, and also went back to China, got the some Chinese vaccine. Basically, I took all the vaccines,
Okay.
and eventually I didn't caught the coronavirus.
So you had.
He got it all.
he got the
The
damn
opposite.
super vaccine.
Yeah, I think I got like 6 injections.
Yeah. Do you feel any different from taking them than before you had them, or you feel the same? Or
I don't actually feel any differences. I mean, the vaccine is basically they injecting you non-active virus in your body and let your body get familiar with the virus, so they don't so that so it makes you less easier to like get sick.
That's kind of the same thing with what that a lot of people believe that herd immunity is.
Yeah.
You know, when everybody has it, it's just a matter of time. Your body's going to be exposed to it, and it's going to adapt. The human being is something else. You don't need. Well, anyway, that's why they have the scientists and the doctors to further the advancement of humans, speed it up, I guess.
yeah, I mean, even the Bible it says the doctor is important. So
It
no one,
does.
yeah. So we're not knocking doctors. It seems to me that at least I'm not sure how the medical system is in China, but here it kind of sometimes seems that ours is more about profit than about actually healing people from any actual diseases. It seems to be like you could treat someone for a lot more money than just curing it, so then they're fine. I don't know how the system is where you are, if it's the same way, or if they actually like cure cancer, like these other diseases, they have cures for them, or what?
Well, I mean, China doctor actually cured her patient.
Really?
Yeah.
For which she cure from?
What?
What did she get a cure from? What did she have?
What you mean?
Yeah, what do you mean?
What?
You talking about Sally?
Oh, he's saying Chinese doctors actually.
That's
cure
what he
their
said.
patients?
Is that what you're
Oh,
saying?
okay,
That-
okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
When you go to the doctor in China, their intentions are to cure you
Yeah.
from why you went.
Yeah.
They're not. They don't try to treat it and make it last as long as they can.
Well, I mean, I never went to the hospital in the United States, so I don't actually know how everything works here. I mean, in China, if you cough or you have a fever, you can just go see a doctor, and the doctor will tell you what medication you need to use. And like for cancer, maybe you go to some more famous hospital in China, and you get your cancer treated in that hospital.
A good question comes up. Do you have family history of people dying of cancer in your family?
No.
Is that a common answer from a lot of your relatives? If you were to do a census, you think?
Yeah, I mean, basically, I know my relatives. They never died because of cancer.
Very few.
Yeah, very
None of
few.
them.
Not a lot of them.
Hey, that's great.
Some other diseases that are pretty popular here, like diabetes. Like, what about diabetes or like heart disease or anything like that?
Yeah, in China we do have a diabetes problems. Like, so our diet, I would say it's salty and oily. So basically, if you eating diet like this, you might get diabetes. And in China, we eat a lot of carbs, like the rice.
Well, a lot of seafood.
So I live in Inner Mongolia. There's no sea there, so we don't eat seafood that much.
Oh, okay.
what do you guys eat a lot of for the most part?
We eat lamb and beef a lot.
Lamb?
Yeah, because there's a lot of people raising the sheep and the cow in the Mongolia.
Are they grass fed or grain fed?
I'm not sure about that. I never.
Are you a city guy?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So you live in the city, but have you ever been hunting or fishing?
I'm sorry, what?
You ever been hunting or fishing? Like hunting, like shooting animals?
Oh, in
or
China,
fishing?
we are not allowed to have guns.
Oh. Oh, okay. That's definitely different. Very good.
In China, no
Yeah.
one.
No one. Only the police officer.
How does that? Well, dang, that's totally different than here.
I tell you
Yeah,
how
I
it
can
works.
tell.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you how it works. I'm gonna tell you why.
Yeah.
If you start your own town and you have population increase from your family, population increases and keeps increasing. So next thing you know, you have a large amount of people. Let's say you have 5,000.
Right.
Okay? Would you ask your law enforcement to carry guns? To enforce your own relatives? Right?
I mean, I really didn't have like a stick.
A stick, right? Would
Yeah,
you would you
what's-
want them to have a gun though?
No.
When they come to break up a fight with the guns, what could happen to one?
Yeah.
They could shoot one of your relatives, right?
Yeah, if everyone in the whole town, like my cousins, I wouldn't want to have guns.
Yeah. So is China diversified like America here?
What you mean diversity?
Where you're from? You said that, no one has guns, right?
Yeah, I mean in China nobody has guns.
Right. But is it a melting pot, the population? Is it a bunch of
Yeah, we have 56 ethnicity groups. Yeah, it's pretty diverse.
really? And
China.
none of them can carry a gun.
Yeah, none of them.
That's pretty damn good.
I mean, police are meant to be protecting the people, right?
Yes.
So, if we have the police to protect us, why do we need a gun?
Hey,
we've been trying to
Hey,
figure
I
that
like.
question
Hey,
out.
I like. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, I like.
We've been trying to figure that.
I like that statement. That's a damn good one, Paul.
Yeah, and you can see in the United States, like people are shooting each other. Even in the high school, people like students shooting other students.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the weirdest thing in the world.
It's weird.
It's weird. Why everybody needs a gun.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's an interesting perspective that and you meant that.
Yeah.
He meant that.
Yeah, I can
The
tell.
police are to protect
us,
you.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're supposed to do. It's like police. I don't want to say too
Hey,
much.
hey,
Police
don't
in
you- hey,
America,
listen.
I know.
What's wrong with? Listen.
I'm just all I'm saying. When the job ends, everyone should go home.
That's right.
You know what I mean? When your shift ends, you go home and just like be back to normal.
Everybody should make it
But,
home.
Yeah. But,
That's right. My son and I went on a road trip together.
yeah.
We went on a road trip together, he and I. He just graduated college, so we flew to Fresno, California. Just graduated, he and I. And we bought a vehicle. This was not just any vehicle, it was a special vehicle. Because I sold that vehicle. I had a classic vehicle. I had to sell it for him to continue college. But when he graduated, he bought that same vehicle for me. So we flew out to Fresno, California to get it. You know, nice road trip. So we're riding back, enjoying ourselves on the road trip. We stopped at the Grand Canyon. You ever been to the Grand Canyon?
Not yet. I was
Man.
planning to go
Oh, that's on your bucket list?
there. Yeah.
Man, when you put your eyes on that Grand Canyon, it brings things into perspective. It's like, wow, this is just it's just an amazing sight to see. So he and I shared that experience together, you know. And as we were riding, we saw a deer park. You know what a deer is?
Yeah.
You know, just enjoying the experience with the Grand Canyon, and then you see the deer. We pulled in there, you know, We was happy.
Yeah, just
You
check it
know,
out.
me and my boy, just a great experience. One that I've never experienced with this person, with him, as a grown man. It was really nice. And we watched the reindeer. We left there together. Me and him was driving, and we went through a city called Oklahoma City. And that's when that road trip turned dark. The police pulled us over. Listen, they pulled us over, and they took me out of the car. They beat his ass for a while. They beat his ass, right? Yeah, they beat his ass right in front of me.
What is that for?
Because
Well,
you can tell them why.
The reason was, now, see, we were thinking that he and I were on a road trip and the whole world knew it. We just assumed that if we got pulled over by the police, they would know we're good people. But they wanted to check my vehicle because it wasn't supposed to be there, I don't think. It was unusual. It was a 2003 Ford Excursion with a lift kit on it, rims, and two people in it that were not.
So in Oklahoma, we didn't know this at the time, but it's a big, it's like a city that's like dealing with drugs and like gangs and a lot of activity. So to them, I suppose we fit like a profile that would match what they've been dealing with. So when we came through, and they saw us, and my dad, whenever in America, when you get pulled over, they ask for your license and registration. And since we were driving, and he pulled us over for straddling the white line. So basically, he was saying that we were out of the lines on the road, that we just went out of the line a little bit. But we were in 5 o'clock traffic going like what, 40 miles an hour, really slow. So we weren't. It was because the vehicle was not. It looked like a vehicle that I guess people would traffic drugs in. I guess it was a big SUV, and so anyways, like that was the reason why they pulled us over, was so they could get inside our vehicle. So when a cop does that, they use every technique they can to get in your vehicle, no matter what, because they want to check for drugs. So they find drugs, they get a lot of money from the state.
I mean, did you guys resist it?
Well, that was the thing. Like you can explain.
Well, there was no resisting. There was no time to resist. When they pulled us over, because I was with my son and I just left the deer park, I was still feeling, I was still feeling happy. And when the officer pulled me and he came to the car, he followed us for a long time, and it was very uncomfortable. I'm like, why is this man following us? It made me feel uncomfortable. And when he came to the door, I knew he wanted to get in the vehicle. I knew something was wrong,
Yeah.
And he asked me for my driver's license, and I asked him, what crime have I committed? What did I do? And that's where I made the mistake. That was a mistake I made. I should not have done that. What I wish the officer would have done I wish he would have said to us, your vehicle looks like drug trafficker's vehicle. We want to check your vehicle. That would have saved all this back and forth talk, because I was assuming that they knew I was a good guy,
Plus, like in America, it's like they build a stereotype to where white people should be nervous around black people. So that's kind of the main thing when the cops saw us, because we're kind of like big for Americans, like in terms of like work out a lot and stuff. So whenever my dad is around like that cop, and he's a lot smaller than my dad, he was extra nervous. Like the guy had his hand on his gun. You know what I mean? Things that like maybe if we were small, like small, or even a girl, they wouldn't have felt so nervous and threatened before we even had a chance to get to know us a little bit. If that makes any sense. Like we don't get the benefit of the doubt a lot of the times. Like they think they see red, like a lot of the times when they see us. Until we start talking, they say these guys are smart. They're not causing no trouble. They're just actually.
But it's funny though you asked me if I resisted. That's a funny question.
I mean, I got pulled over by the police several times. They asked me for the registration and the driver license. I just give it to them.
The thing about it is, it's good because where you are, you're trained to see the police as something to not be worried about. But where we come from, we're trained to be scared of the police. So every time a cop pulls us over, we're immediately nervous. And then the thing is, life is about energy, right? So when the cop pulls you over, he didn't feel any type of energy that would make him nervous. But when a cop pulls us over, they feel our energy of being nervous, and they can view that as they need to be nervous. So automatically, before the cop even comes to the car, he's already thinking, okay, it might go down. And the same thing as the person. I had never had any problems with the police because like the school I went to, a high school that was very, I guess you could say, like educational and sports focused. So there wasn't a lot of like drama or like fights or anything. I had like a perfectly normal. That's why like I was so surprised that even happened, because me and my dad, you know, we Deer Park, everything. We both didn't have well, I don't know. He had more altercations with the cops growing up than I did, but I didn't have any at the time. So I didn't even think anything. I didn't think nothing. When a cop pulled me over, before that, I didn't think anything about it. It was no big deal. I don't really care. And now I still don't care. It's just now I know when a cop pulls me over, I just give him my license and not really sweat it. But it just, I think it's a perception problem in America that we have between the cops and then certain demographic. That's an interesting topic in itself, because there's two sides to that. Like one side is that he was like a drug addict already. Have you heard this before?
I heard that he passed a fake 20, that he had counterfeit money.
Yeah, like I said, it sucks for these situations because it's all media bias. Because on one side, like I hear the media talk about it as like he was on drugs at the time, and when he was like had his foot on his neck, he was on drugs. He had already like died from the drugs, not from the dude's neck on.
Well, I saw that take place, and I seen why he died. The guy killed him.
That's what I'm saying. There's so many different opinions. Unless you were actually there that day, you're not going to know what really happened. So, and to me, I don't think that should have sparked like that. I mean, that was a bad thing, but it could have been. They could have. I think there was a way to have gotten some things done that didn't involve destroying everybody's property. But I'm saying like people are allowed to be angry over those things. But if there was any time in history where we could have actually gotten something done, that might have been it. Everybody was actually listening. If someone had like an actual plan for how to reform things, it might have actually been listened to.
It's possible. You mean we blew a window of opportunity? If I came to visit you in China, would they treat me kind?
Yeah, of course.
In your hometown.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't commit any crime, you shouldn't worry about the police in China. I mean, police don't even care about who's there. They only care about who's doing the crime.
That's good.
So in your town, is there a lot of, you met any Native Americans before in China?
What?
Have you met any Native Americans before in China before you came to America?
Yes, I did. There's like several Americans in my hometown. They teaching English there.
Oh, not like tribe, like someone from like a tribe, like we're Waccamaw Siouan, like you met anyone maybe from Cherokee Nation or like actual
no,
Native Americans? I was just curious.
Yeah, because we're from an indigenous population.
Yeah, we're like kind of separate from America.
Yeah.
We're not black enough to be with the black guys, and we're not white enough to be with the white people.
Yeah,
We're
I mean,
in
at the first time I met you, I saw you're black. But right now, your son told me that you guys are Indian Americans.
Right. Yeah, I used to have problems with the police all the time in my neighborhood because I would ride horses at my house, and nobody else had horses. And I said, well, why don't y'all have horses? You know, they didn't like me having horses.
Yeah, it's like that same thing, competition based, like right for China, but instead of being for like something more constructive like academics or sports, it's more competitive. And now like it's more like competitive versus like money, class in this country, and like if you dress a certain way, like how you present yourself, that's kind of more so what the competition is now in this country than it is like it should be for like competing for like I liked it more so for academics and sports. That's something to really compete with, but about money and status, I think that's because of social media. It's made it more status based. I don't really like that.
It's an eye opener to me to see that that's how you get along in the United States, is to play the program. See, I didn't grow up that way. I grew up in the reservation. We grew up in a separate part where only my family lived. Just us. I mean, you can do whatever you want. Then when I moved and went to different places, they said, "Who the hell are you?" think you can talk about hunting or go fishing?
Yeah, I mean, in my hometown, there's one ethnicity group called Mongolian. They actually live in the grassland. You know, grassland.
Yes.
They make their own tent and they feed their own sheep and horse. They just live in the grassland. You know, it's like just the same way you guys live.
So if they come to the city, they have problems.
What you mean? They ride their horses to the city? See, it might cause some problems since there's a lot of cars in the city.
See, I s-
and the horse is not that stable. I mean,
See, I thought you could ride the horse to the. I rode my horse to Wendy's.
I mean, in some like small cities, you can ride your horse. I think that's totally fine. Nobody's gonna
Yeah.
do anything.
That's a pretty good conversation, man. So, what do you think about crypto? Well, having your financial background, I'm curious. See, listen, Paul. I'm just trying to figure this out, man. I'm a conspiracy theorist, man. I think there's a big thing happening. I think there's about to be a major disruption. I'm a prepper. You ever heard of
Prepper? Is that a coin?
a prepper? I am a man that prepares for the worst. I don't live in the city. I live in the country. I have 100 acres of land.
Right. So you're always ready when disaster. happens.
Always ready. I stay ready so I don't have to get ready. Well, you don't look like you're not ready. You look ready.
I mean, I'm not prepared for any disasters. I'm just preparing for my future. Like for right now, I'm trying to get a green card. By doing this, I think I'm adding a possibility to my future. Like in China, the government don't accept the dual citizenship. So the green card is the best choice I can have.
I'm so I get the fact that America, you have an edge here because this is where you're going to get your finances together. That's your goal. Once you reach a certain level financially, will you go back to your country
Yeah, I would prefer to go back to my country.
as a millionaire?
Yeah, I would say.
That's a good goal.
Yeah, I mean, in the United States, like in terms of the purchasing power, the housing price in United States is actually cheaper than in China, and also the cars are cheaper here than in China.
That is interesting.
But some others.
Yeah, but you guys do have the property tax, but we don't have that yet. Maybe in the future we'll have it.
It's okay. Well, you're doing good. I mean, this is good news. This is good medicine. I'm learning a lot. So there's not much difference. I don't see much difference. I see that you smart, you know to stay in your lane, whereas I should have stayed my ass in the grasslands instead of trying to bring my personality to where I.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we are just ordinary people. Politics it's just not what we should concern about. It's a game between countries.
Right. It is
Yeah,
a
like
game.
just like in United States, you need to transfer this internal conflict to other countries. So Donald Trump decided to like say some bad things about China to transfer this internal conflict, you know. And in China, basically we also have the propaganda. Like yeah, so like each country has their own ways to transfer this internal conflicts.
That's what you're saying. That's a good way to look at it.
That is a good way to look
Yeah.
at it. Do y'all need to take a break? 'Cause I like
Okay.
to talking. Let's take a break
Take a break.
because I like to talking.